Hey everybody, welcome to my weekly chat for CEOPA, and I'm here every day at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. Happy to have you here. Happy to see you here. My name is Bobby Umar. I am one of Inc. Magazine's top 100 leadership speakers. I'm also a four-time TEDx speaker, and most recently has been named one of the top 7 networking gurus to follow on Twitter. So I'm here every week, and I welcome you. I'm excited to share some stuff with CEOPA and Seize Your Passion. I help entrepreneurs and leaders and other people seize their passion and find ways to, figure out what they want to do with their lives. And today the topic is something that is really, really personal to me. I love it. It's why love is the best approach. And when I say best approach, and hey, the hearts are coming, that's great. Let's see how many hearts we can get. Why is love the best approach? Well, and the other thing is love is the best approach, for everything, anything. For your relationships, for business, for work, for career, for politics, you name it. Love is always the best approach. And I'm going to start off by saying, I'll give you a story that happened just last night. Now, ever since the election in the U.S., a lot of people have been talking about the dealing with challenges with with bullying and racism, things like that. And a person in my class told me last night. They said, "Well, what would you do if someone there was actually a recent event? I'm actually in Toronto, and there was a recent event where a person was being harassed on a streetcar, and the person was yelling at them to go back to their own country and things like that. And that stuff really upsets me. Certainly, it's important to treat people with love, and no matter what happens or what you think they did, and." But one of my students said, "Well, Bobby, what would you do if someone's like in your face and calling you this name and being angry and all that kind of what would you do?" And I was trying to think about that. Well, what would I do? I think for the most part, I understand the idea that hurt people hurt people. Everyone projects their own pain, and so no matter who they are and what they're doing, they're projecting pain of for some reason. So I probably would start off with a smile and say. Like if someone was really, really mean to me, I'd say, hey, listen, brother, sister, I love you. I love people. Please tell me what's going on. Why are you upset? I want to know. I really want to know. And I just leave it there. And then with a little pause, see how they react. Now, if they continue to berate me or whatever, then I'll say, again, listen, I want to listen to you. So why don't you tell me your story? Tell me why you're upset. And at that point, they're not willing to do it, then fine. If it escalates and it gets dangerous, I might exit the situation. But I'll always respond with love first because, I'm taking initiative into a positive situation. I'm being the better person. I'm not letting their projection of their hurt to get to me. And usually it can diffuse the situation. I've been in a situation where people get into heated arguments, and so love can really help you do that. Now, love also, and again. I didn't say it, but I'm from Toronto, and let me know where you're from. Like, comment below. Let me know. Share your thoughts. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what people are saying. I love hearing everyone's thoughts and comments. Let me know where you're from. I'm from Toronto, Canada, home of the Raptors, home of the Blue Jays. But let's talk a bit more about why love is the best approach. So, love is the best approach in relationships, obviously, because the more you love people and the more you express love and use love as a verb, you're essentially being the change, and so that's going to affect them in a positive way, and they're going to want to reciprocate. So my loving abilities with other people certainly is reciprocated. People like that, and they trust me as someone who's going to support them and nurture them, whether it's my kids or my friends or my family. So in relationships, obvious. What about love in the job? You're in your job. Why is love great? Well, again, that passion, that excitement you have for who you are and what you're doing is infectious, right, for the most part. And on top of that, people like to work with pleasant people. No one likes to work with someone who's like really miserable to work with. So, and that passion for your work and the passion for your job will lead to passion for the products, which leads to passion for the company, which leads to passion for the customers. And all that type of love will actually go a long way in benefiting your team and your company and as well as your career. Now, what about in conflict? Well, love in politics. That's probably the big that's the touchy one, isn't it? You just in the U.S. they just had an election, and I know here in Canada we had an election where it was a bit divisive, but the current prime minister said love and diversity and openness and inclusiveness is the way to go, and he got elected by a majority, which is great. Defining love, eh? Defining love is good. How do we define love in the context? Well, love, genuine love, really comes from the heart. It's about caring. And how do we care? Well, actually, it's rooted in the idea of empathy. So, empathy is the root because if you can empathize with how someone's feeling, then you're expressing your love for that person. Empathy is probably the first one. And then the second piece of it, there's empathy, but then there's also the action of um, acting with peace, acting with love, acting with uh, genuine care that will benefit that person. So for me, that's probably the big thing in terms of how love comes to play. And again, I love the hearts. By the way, you like what you're hearing. Share the hearts. We like to hear what people are thinking. So for me, love is really empathy, but it's also the act of giving and nurturing and showing affection. You all heard of the 5 love languages, probably. I mean, there's 5 different ways in which we express and feel love. The first one is acts of service. So when I make my wife dinner, I'm expressing love. There's touch, physical touch. When you hug or kiss someone or hold their hand, that's expressing love. The other one's gifts. When you give someone a card or flowers or a present, that's expressing or feeling love. Like if you get the gift, you feel love too. The fourth one is words of affirmation. So you say, hey, I love you, or you're amazing, or I care about you. That's, again, sharing or showing love. And then the fifth one is quality time, when you take the time to do something special. So I decide with my son to spend some time and work on his favorite project, or my wife and I go out for a nice dinner. That's quality time. That's another way of expressing love. And that's the 5 ways in which people express and feel love. And if you understand that, then you'll know how to act in a loving way. Empathy. So, when it comes to like politics is the tough one. Like, politics is hard because, people are angry and bitter whether they win. Even when they win, they're not gracious winners. But when they lose, they're not gracious losers. And so how do we navigate that situation? Well, the first thing, of course, is empathy. So understanding how people feel. If someone says something nasty to me on Twitter, and sometimes they do because, I was certainly promoting politics. I'm very much against racism and xenophobia and bullying. And so I definitely was calling that out, but then people get mad at me. But there's nothing wrong with calling that stuff out. That's why what you do is you don't call it people. You call it the actions and behaviors. And so when people do that, I respond with love. I say, you know what? I appreciate your feedback. Why do you feel that way? And so when I respond with one of the 5 love languages. I use my words of affirmation when I respond. And if someone saw me in person, I would also respond in a very, acts of service means I'm taking the time to understand how they're feeling. And so I'm putting that out there for them. So that's how I would respond from a political standpoint. And then going back to that original question, what if someone's going to attack you in a racist way? How would you handle that? Well, again, I would first want to stay calm and stay positive and smile and say, listen, I'm sorry you're angry. Please tell me what's going on. Why are you feeling this way? And then they might say, well, you know what, you need to go back to your country or whatever it is, even though I was born in Canada. They may say, well, you have to go back to... They may say things, but then I say, okay, fine, you know what, I want to hear more about this. Would you be open to me sharing my thoughts after I hear yours? And usually they'll say, sure, because people want to be heard. They want their voice to be out there. So when I do that, I'll share listen to what they have to say. I'll say, well, here's some of my thoughts, and then I'll share some of my thoughts. Did you know I was born in this country? Did you know that? Correct me if I'm wrong, but active listening and empathy means I hear what you're saying. What you're saying is X, Y, Z. Is that correct? When you do that, they love that because they feel acknowledged. So, love is a great way to diffuse any hostile situation, to be the better person, to turn the other cheek, to really change things in a better way. Now, in the context of a career or business or dreams, love is important because if you truly love and joy and happiness, if you truly love yourself and you love what you're doing and what you're up to, you're going to want to make the effort to follow a path that's aligned with your heart, right? So loving what you do is likely to lead to being amazing at what you do. Loving your path will mean that you're more likely to help other people learn to love their path. So if you're in a career job and you love your work, then you're more likely to be a mentor. You're more likely to give back. You're more likely to understand people who are struggling to find the right fit with their companies. If you're loving with your business, that type of attitude and that brand will reflect on you. They'll say, oh, Bobby, he's all about love. And they'll say, hey, that's a really good thing. And when they know that Bobby's about love, they're going to want to work with me in their businesses. So love definitely, and again, thanks for the hearts. I love the hearts. That's great. Love definitely will be, it's a fuel for your passions. It's also a fuel. It's also a brand. It's something that you're going to make known about you so that people will respond in a positive way. So, love really affects the people around you. It affects yourself. It makes you, loving yourself, the better you can be, the better everyone else will be. So if you love yourself, you can be more purposeful, you're going to be more focused, you're going to be more able to connect with people, you're going to be able to create more, love is definitely a brand. I mean, people have a love brand. What is your love brand as a partner in a marriage? What is your love brand as a coworker or a friend? Knowing that brand from a love perspective, that's actually a really important thing. I actually worked with another friend of mine, Natalia Juarez, on love branding for relationships and knowing what your love brand is. Because what is it you promise, right, when it comes to a loving relationship? So you take love and you use that as a means to engage people better and to have more focus and have more passion and fire with what you're doing. So that to me is why love is the best approach to anything. It creates better results. It diffuses bad situations more quickly, and it creates an openness to new truths and new ways of connecting that are going to overall better your business, better your career, and better your opportunities. So hope you have found that helpful. If you have any other questions, by all means, comment below, share below, or go to seopa.com/stream. Check out the videos that we post. We're here every week at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today was later because I had a doctor's appointment, but normally it's 11:45 a.m. every Thursday at seopa.com. So we'll see you out there. Check me out. Look at just hashtag me Q4BobbyU. Check me out on Twitter, Instagram at RayhanBobby, or at Rayhan.com, my company site. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have. I'm really excited about what I'm doing and doing this, and it's been a great journey. So wish you all the best. Have yourself a great week, and I look forward to next week's topic. Take care.